What makes filmmakers poor?
What you up to?
Let's take a look at this. I'm about to get the new Red V-Raptor XL.
But aren't you broke?
Not if I get enough clients.
But you don't have any clients.
Today we're going to be diving into the pitfalls that keeps filmmakers from achieving financial success so that you don't make the same mistakes and fall into the same traps. Filmmaker problem 1, lifestyle inflation. So this happens when you start earning more, and instead of saving and investing more, you start spending more. You get that new car, bigger apartment, fancier gadgets and the newest red camera. You name it, the more you earn, the more you spend. This is a major problem. Take a look at what brand strategist Ronnie Brown has to say on the topic at the American Black Film Festival.
So the first thing was that I had spent over $30,000 in entertainment and eating expenses. And a year before that, I was making $40,000 a year. So I went back to doing what I was doing when I was making $40,000 a year. So sometimes just because we increase our income, that doesn't mean that we need to increase and change our lifestyle.
It's called lifestyle inflation. And this is when you allow the small treats. It was the latte, it may have been the fancy dinner, or the pair of shoes that when you had $40,000 is something you bought occasionally. But now that you're making $100,000, it's something that you're doing consistently.
Called lifestyle deflation. Right. And that's when you realize that you created a lifestyle that was inflated and you need to go back to your regular self again. So you start packing your lunch for work. You start making that oatmeal in the morning. You stop going out to eat. And then when you go out with your friends, you don't do the split the bill down the middle. It's like everybody pays for what they ordered.
So let's take me for instance. I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment that's about 38 to an hour away from work. Could I spend a little bit more of my income to grab a 2-bedroom and use the 2nd bedroom as my own YouTube studio office? Yeah, I could. But then I'd have infinitely less money to invest per month, and I'd probably achieve my financial goals a little bit later in life. The key is to live below your means and invest the difference so that you can eventually afford to spend your money on your own short films or a feature film in the future, if you like. And yes, this is assuming you don't get those dream investors to fund your movies. Trust me, future you will thank you. Filmmaker problem number 2. Film school. First off, there's a lot of ways that film school could potentially poison your mind and overcomplicate the process of filmmaking. I'm a victim of this. But education is important. It's very important. But film school could be ridiculously expensive. Strike that. For me, film school was ridiculously expensive. Remember that Leo DiCaprio meme from The Great Gatsby where he's holding up a glass and saying, "Thank you, student loans, I can never repay you"? Yeah, that's me. We're talking tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what's the ROI on a film degree? Deeply consider why you want that film degree. And if you're in film school, really leverage those experiences that you have. And if you decide that you cannot afford film school, which is very, very reasonable, instead consider online courses, workshops, and practical experience. Listen, I have a film degree. In my experience, practical experience, like becoming a production assistant, is infinitely more valuable than a film degree. Please become a production assistant for the love of Christ. Don't be a pretentious butthole. Do a really, really, really good job. Show up on time, do your job well. Even if you're in film school right now, please be a production assistant. Be a production assistant on many films. So help me God, if the first time you're looking for film work is when you get that degree, oh, reality's gonna smack you in the face. Remember, the industry values what you can do and your film portfolio over what degree you have. For more on this topic, feel free to watch this video on what film school won't teach you, and then watch my video on what film school will teach you or what you will learn in film school. Filmmaker problem number 3, buying new gear, buying new cameras. Filmmakers love buying cameras they can't afford. I love buying cameras I can't afford. That new Red or RE camera may look amazing, but if it's not an optimal investment for you, it may just be an extremely expensive paperweight. Remember, the quality of your footage is largely determined by the individual behind the camera and your team, designing the shot, lighting the shot. Having a $20,000 camera will not guarantee you're going to get $20,000 in return. Now, this is just something that I had to be reminded of. The GH4, for instance, which is over 10 years old now, is still, to this day, a very good solution for beginning indie filmmakers working today. Now, I know the Panasonic GH7 is coming out, and the old me would have pre-ordered the GH7 yesterday, but I've been doing a great job coping with my new camera addiction, and I've become very content with my GH5 at the moment. So if I were you, or me, because I'm you and you're me, focus on just mastering the equipment that you have, and you can always just borrow or rent equipment for a specific project that you have in mind. If you found this somewhat helpful so far, please like the video. Small channels like mine greatly appreciate it. Another big reason filmmakers stay poor is their lack of income. The lack of clients, the lack of demand for their work, their lack of a job. Marketing yourself and building a network is crucial. If you're not getting enough gigs, it's time to increase your networking game. Maybe focus on creating that reel, diversifying your skill set. Now, volunteering for film festivals and film organizations could be your foot in the door to not only meeting like-minded filmmakers like yourself, but this strategy could also help you get gigs as well. Now, sometimes you've got to be brutally honest with yourself and ask, does my work look professional? Does it look like it could be on television? Does it look like it could be seen on a commercial or movie? And I know it's a little bit subjective, but just hear me out. See, if you can honestly say that I can see my work in film and video on a professional television show, or I can see my work on that television commercial, then that's a good place to be. Now it's time to pound the pavement and advertise your services to restaurants, to barbershops, coffee shops, law offices, hospitals, etc. Just note that if you are dealing with big clients like the Smithsonian, for instance, you gotta have some impressive gear with you. Versus if you were just doing a little promotional spot for a local barbershop. With a little healthy self-criticism and perhaps showing your work to friends who you can trust, some networking, and offering your services to different businesses, you should be well on your way to generating leads for your business. Filmmaker problem number 5. No investments. I say it the loudest because I'm afraid that we are doomed in this department as filmmakers. Please, 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 please invest your money. Invest your money. Sorry. Just get so amped up on this. Odds are poor filmmakers have no investments. Nothing in the stock market and nothing in real estate, and no passive income streams. In this day and age, yes, you've got to work for your money, but you've also got to have your money working for you while you sleep, so that eventually, down the road, work is optional. And all you've got to do is chill and write and create and make the movies that you want to make without worrying about your bills. If you plan for it, it is possible. Okay? Watch my video on becoming a wealthy filmmaker. It'll help. If you haven't seen my wealthy filmmaker video, it is the single most underrated video on my channel, period. I go in depth on how to manage, invest, and grow your net worth. Also, feel free to do your own research because you don't want to listen to some random bozo on YouTube and steer you down the wrong financial path. So do your own research as well. Additionally, you want to be working on building multiple streams of income. Start by building one, and then after you build one income stream up to a certain level, then you work on building the next income stream, and so on and so forth. I also have another video on film-specific income ideas and tips, so feel free to take a look at that as well. Also, if you have any film events or film premieres that's coming up, please try and charge for that film event so that, this is just assuming your film didn't ROI yet. Please consider charging for your film event and film premiere, because it's not like Universal or Paramount or DreamWorks is financing your project, odds are. Because here's a true story for you. After my film premiere, the biggest question that I had in mind was how in the world I was going to be able to do this again. This is so incredible. This experience is so fun. I couldn't quite shake the feeling that this moment would never happen again. I did not have a plan for what I was going to do next, and my film premiere was a free event. I made the unfortunate mistake of having everything free at my film premiere. Entry was free, food was free, and also bear in mind if you do charge, you do need some exclusive events like red carpet events, some fun competitions, games, and other fundraising endeavors. So I was fresh out of cash and I did not know what to do next. Don't be like me. Have an income generation plan if you're an indie filmmaker so that you can afford to produce projects that you want to produce in the future. So there you have it. There's a brief little list of pitfalls that you could have. If I missed any pitfalls, please be sure to comment below. I definitely missed a lot of them. This was not a comprehensive list, but I'm confident that if you at least avoid these pitfalls, you will be well on your way to financial success as a filmmaker. If you got a little bit of value from this video, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that when new videos come out, you can know. Also, let me know in the comments if there are other topics that you'd want me to cover in future videos. And it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Until next time, peace. And action. Take a look at this. I'm about to get the new red V Raptor XL.